Hi everybody, it's Janet with Fruit of the Vine Art Studio. Thank you so much for joining me on this lovely Saturday afternoon. It's a little bit windy out there today. The wind's really blowing outside, so if you hear some stuff banging around, who knows what it is, but it's out there blowing. Okay, today I'm going to do something we've done before. I've done it once and we did it with fire, but I'm not going to be using fire today. I'm going to be using a wooden cutout though. Let me turn it this way for you so you can see it. It's already got the words cut in it that say grateful, thankful, and blessed. I don't know if you can see that very well. And I have this lovely napkin. Maybe that'll help it. I've got this lovely napkin here that's got leaves on the outside of it and sort of a white wood type look to it. Sort of a white wood motif a little bit on it. So I was thinking that maybe I would use this napkin and Mod Podge it right onto here. And then we would use water and see if we can work around the cut out areas to move those out of the way, to tear that out without having to use like fire like I did the other time. I'm just going to use water and see how that works to get the cutouts from the wood. Anyway, let me first pull it up on the computer here. I forgot to even turn that on before I got started. Let's go right back to home. There we go. All right. I should be able to see it. All right, there we go. Let me tilt you down and we'll get started. And then zoom you in a little bit here. Okay. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put some Mod Podge on my wood cutout. Well, actually, since I'm going to do this while this is wet, the first thing I need to actually do is to peel the backing off of my napkin. So I'm going to try to separate this. Let me try it from this corner up here. This part won't be seen as much. There we go. Sometimes you can do it by wetting your fingers. Not that's going to work for me. I can see it separated already, though, right there. You see all this? I got markers all over my fingers, so if you see all that all over my hand, that's just marker. I was in the kids' club earlier this morning, and we made a little craft that had markers and watercolors, and it was a lot of fun. Little Tom Turkey with a coffee filter. Now, we just get all the backing off, just like that, and we'll just put this to the side. You can use that for cleaning up something. And the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put some Mod Podge right here on this. Let me turn it the right way. I had it turned for you all to see. You need to turn it this way. If I'm going to be using it here. Okay. I'm just going to get me some Mod Podge on here and just put a nice layer of it. Right on this. I need some more. And while it's still wet, I'm going to try to position the napkin on it. So I've got to work a little quickly here. Making sure I'm getting it all covered. Got to get to the lettering. That's going to go down on the insides of it, I know. And that's all right. I'm not worried about that. Just want to make sure all the letters get some of the Mod Podge on them and that they're covered. So I'm just quickly going over it, and then I can just pick up whatever's on the edges here. And just kind of smooth it around a little bit more. Don't want to leave too big of globs anywhere. Okay. pretty wet. Throw that in there. I'm going to take my napkin and try to just get as much covered as I can with the pretty lettering. Smooth it down with my hands. Pressing it on there. Any wrinkles that I see, I'm just taking my hands, any air bubbles, just taking my hands and just rubbing it around, trying to make sure that every letter sure that K and this T, make sure all the letters are sticking on there real well. Got some air bubbles right here. Okay, that looks like that's pretty good. I'm going to take my scissors and just trim around the outsides here. Lift it up. Cutting it around. Get this side over here. Yeah, that wind's really blowing out there. I thought it was starting to rain at first. I'm going to take my scissors and I'm just going to kind of cut into some of these areas in between where the lettering is, to make it a little easier, I hope. Now, this is an experiment, guys, once again. Let me see here, yeah. Right in there I can. Right in there. Inside the B. I can see the letters here, and I'm just trying to make it a little easier when I go to try to pull them out. In the middle of that A, and that A, and the L, and the L, and the K. I'm just using my scissors. Is there a spot in the B? Yes, there is. Right there, right there, right down in there. All down in this little area. I know there's one right there in that L. Yeah, it's right there. And these S's. Is there an E? I don't believe there is in the E. No, there's not. Right there. I know it's a little hard for you to see what I'm doing. I can still see through it. Okay, and then we're going to need to maybe just kind of get this a little bit right through here. Just a little bit. Right through there. Put the lid on my Mod Podge. Hey Steve, thanks for commenting. I appreciate that. Yeah, I know I'm on the right page at the right time. Okay, so what I'm going to do now, you can kind of see on the back how it looks. Now that would have been pretty too. You could always just back this with a pretty pump or with a pretty painted and then put a backing of a napkin behind it just so that it shows real well. But we're going to do this instead. Excuse me. Let me get that extra Mod Podge off right here. Okay. Got me some water here and a brush. And I'm hoping this works. I'm just going to wet it and hope that it will just stay where it's supposed to and come off where I want it to. And we're going to see how that works. Let's see. Can I get it to just... And does it actually leave what I want on the top? I'm hoping that it does. I'm just letting it get wet. That little spot didn't get broke in, did it? Here's my scissor. I don't know, to me that's looking like... How am I going to get that off of there? Those little pieces. Just, rub it with my brush. I'm not sure how that's going to turn out looking. Guess we have to wait for it to dry to actually see, won't we? I think it'll be a bit ragged. Oh, along the edges it certainly will, especially if you do that. Don't rub it like that. Well, I don't know, guys. This might be one that you have to do with a little bit of fire. Because I don't know that water's going to do it the way I want it to. We'll see here if I can get the paper to come loose just using the water. I think that's going to be raggedy looking. Okay, so here is another experiment. And I don't think that's going to work to get this off this way. Because it's just going to end up tearing your napkin. Even trying to just pull it off the edge as you're doing it doesn't really. That's not really working either. Okay, so I guess the next step would be do it the other way that I know would work, would be with fire. So let me see, I'm going to have to look and see where's the lighter. Do I got a lighter right here? All right, you're going to have to give me a moment. I'll be right back. Okay, here I come. Well, let's do this then. We're playing with fire again. The cool thing about this is it burns itself right up to the edge. And you don't gotta fight with it. Look at that. Still going on that side. There goes the little flame. Now, I don't know how it's going to work on the inside now, but we'll see. Right along the edge. edge here. Just letting it burn itself. If you see any little pieces like that, just lift them up. Give it another quick run. There we go. Okay, let's see what it does here. Let's try it from the back. Now where it's got wet, I'll have to wait for that to dry. It might get some of it off though. See how much easier that is? And it just stops itself once it gets to the spot. Yeah, let me pop a few holes in there. Come through right there. Maybe turn it this way. You don't want to scorch it is why I'm trying not to turn it that way. See, because that just scorched it right there. And I was trying to avoid that. Because if I'm going to scorch it, I want to scorch it from the back. Should have figured I'd be up here playing fire. I was trying not to do fire. I was going to just see if water wouldn't work. And there must be a way to do it. I just am doing something wrong, and I'm not sure what it is that I need to do differently. But there's something I'm doing wrong there. Let me... Come on, fire. Burn. Burn, napkin, burn. Come on. It's like it's reluctant to catch on fire. Well, you gotta get on here and experiment and try things, and well, this is one of those things. Give it a try, see what it does. Burn that up right in there and in between the L if it'll burn. Well, Sometimes things just don't work as planned. This seems to be one of those situations here. Come on. Let's catch the whole place on fire. Come on, little thing. Gotta have the letters to show. Let me see if I can burn in between those two S's. And that right in there. Come on. Try to burn that right in here. It's very reluctant. That's working a little bit better. It's dried a little more. Nope, it's not on fire. Right in between there if I can. Nope, doesn't look like it will. Well, this is one crazy experiment, and I know that didn't work well, so that's something you don't try again. The napkin's not the way to do this particular cut. You can almost read it at this point, but it's still not, it still doesn't look like you want it to look. It's not at all what I was hoping it would look like. And you don't want to burn it from the front because that's what I'm trying to do right there, but that kind of scorches it. And it doesn't want to burn from the bottom, and I don't know why. Catch the dang thing on fire. I don't want to do that. So that's about as good as that's going to come out of there, which doesn't look the way I hoped it would at all. It does look pretty from a distance, but you really can't read it that well. I had to figure out a different way of doing that. Let's see, this has got to go on this side over here too. Come on, little fire. Go. I'm telling you, what in the world? When you can't even get the fire burn. I didn't even wet all of that. I'm going to use this to kind of open up some of these spots. Just a little in between. Try to go over that again with the lighter. E especially right there. No, those are connected, aren't they? Okay, that looks like about all the little cutout spots. Looking at it from this side and that side, and that let the lighter cool down just a little bit. Let's see if that'll just burn it now. It looks to be burning a lot better, that's for sure. I guess you have to tear up more of it. Cut more for air to get through, I guess. See if we can get these little pieces to just catch on the edges. Get it right in that K there. That lighter's hot, which I imagine it is. Yes, it is. Seeing if I can get it to go that way then. If we're on the top, just kind of quickly whoosh it over them. It would work either on the top or the bottom, one or the other, but it's really pretty resistant. Look how the outside turned out. Burn it from the inside, burn this from the inside. Let's try more water then. Since it didn't seem to do too much to hurt that. That end did not want to work at all. Actually, if I could get it to come off, I would just paint over that part of it. Maybe that's what I'll end up doing at some point here. Since that's just sort of a plain white. This was an experiment. I thought I'd try this with a group. But no, I don't think this is a group activity at all. This is just an experiment. And it's not a good one. It's not a good one. Had it worked right, that would have been really pretty. I mean, you know, I think it's really pretty. The concept, the idea, that's really pretty. But I don't know. That's... Oh, you like it, Victoria? Yeah, I don't know. I don't like this. I'm not happy with this. I'm not happy with this at all. This is not what I was wanting it to do. The lettering is not right. It didn't work out the way I hoped it would with the Mod Podge. So I'm thinking maybe let's try. Let me see. I'm having all kind of craziness up here today. I got a sanding block right here. I should. Excuse me. Got these little boxes. That's nothing I need. No. Not down in that one. I thought I had those right there. I don't see them. Nope, that's a jig string. Well, I guess that idea won't work then. I was thinking about taking my sanding block and just sanding this off right here on the top, but I don't even see my sanding block up here. I must have taken it downstairs when I was working on that other project. Okay, that's not an idea then. I'm not going to do that. I think it's really pretty, but I'm just not crazy about that part of it. Okay, I'll think of something here. In the meantime, let's just make it a pretty bow. Maybe a pretty bow is all it needs. Sometimes that's what it needs, just a pretty bow. So I'm going to use these three different right here. This is just an orange and a black, an orange with the orange metallic edge, and then a pretty just plain gold. So I'm going to take these, and I'm going to cut the same length. Let me get you two. That one's a little different. You got to think about how big of a bow do you want. And then you want to make it twice the size of what you're wanting, what you're going to cut here. Okay, so if I want a bow that's about this big on each side, I'm going to have to cut about twice as much as what I want for my bow size. So, okay, so then we're going to take these. Let me grab a little piece of wire. I got a little piece of wire right over here. You can use a bread tie if you don't have a little piece of wire. This is just a little piece of wire that I've got sitting over there. Take my piece of wire. I'm going to take mine, and I'm going to do them each like this, right there, to where it's in the middle. So if you worry about where's the middle, here's the middle. Put the two ends together, kind of overlap them just a little bit. Press it down. You do the same thing. You want to find your middle. Overlap the ends just a little bit. Press it down. Now, it's not going to make a big, big bow. It's not. And that's okay. I don't want a big, big bow. This one looks better this way. Okay. I'm going to take this one and put it here. Put this one here. I'm going to put this one here. Where they're kind of setting just a little catty corner from each other, just a little bit. I'm going to take my hands and I'm going to mush them together. Now, if you want to use hot glue, you can do that too. That'll hold it together too. But I'm going to take my hands and I'm going to mush them together. Take my little piece of wire. Twist it like a bread twisty tie. spread that apart a little bit. And I'm just going to manipulate my bow. Poof it up a little. You see this one's not quite in the middle, so I can pull this over a little. Just tugging on the edges a little bit. Just pull it over a little. Pull from the middle. Just kind of poof it up a little bit here. These two up a little bit here. Bring this one down a little bit and open him up. And it's just a simple bow. It doesn't have to be anything big and fancy. Bringing these two sort of up at the top, these two sort of down at the bottom, and then you've got the pretty gold bow in the middle. And it just makes a pretty little simple bow, and we can put it right on the top of here. I can use some hot glue and just hot glue it right to the top of the pumpkin, and it just makes a simple, pretty bow with just a little wire. Okay, guys, it didn't turn out exactly the way I wanted it to, but you know what? It's okay. I can always work on it. I can make it better. At least it's got a little bow to go with it. I think I'm just going to paint this in the middle here. I'm going to work on finding my sanding block and sand that off. And then I'm going to paint that, and then I'm going to leave the rest of the outside of it just the way it is, because I really like how the leaf parts turned out over here. Maybe I'll paint this word orange. Maybe I'll paint this word yellow and this word white. Maybe that would look really nice. I'll try that. First I'm going to get this paper off of it, though. I don't like the paper on it, and I don't want to paint over it and have it just looking like that. So I'll work on that. I don't know where my sanding block is. But for now, we tried an experiment, didn't work the way I wanted it to, so we ended up using some fire. It still didn't do what I wanted it to, so we made the bow to go with it, and still turned out. It's all right. We like it. I'll see you guys later. Thanks for joining me. Bye.